Well,
are we actually kind of sort of ready? Well,
I'm kind of sort of ready. Well,
I guess then we're kind of sort of ready.
In a while.
Yeah.
No, that's not the right placement.
You're in Berks County.
I keep popping up. Poor network connection. I have no idea if you're hearing me all or not.
Yeah, we can hear you. We're just waiting for Mental to hit the button on the sound.
Can we get this show started?
Like, we're recording,
absolutely.
And we have been.
Thanks.
And Mental just doesn't kill.
Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of LeChamp, track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate. We even think you Drifto Hella Flush folks are all right, like the ones at Grid Life this past weekend, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news, and notes on the world of amateur racing, and if you're lucky, really lucky, Chrissy might give you just a tip. Everyone report to the paddock.
Hey, this is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thanks for coming back and listening to another Ragtop Down So My Hair Can Blow episode of our podcast. That's right. This is episode 5-0.
Get out of town.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
How did that even happen?
5.0.
I mean, it's awesome.
Because we
You
stopped.
make a lot of bad decisions.
We stopped and then collaborated and then listened. That's how.
I like it.
So, Jeff, what are you working on, Jeff?
Well done.
Yeah, but before my internet goes away, I will mention that I am working at a camp called Akanikin in the boonies of New Jersey.
What'd you call me?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm working very
Stop
hard
cursing.
not
It's a
to
family
melt.
show.
It is so hot here. I have begun my hell weeks at work. Between now and the Chris and Chrissy wedding, I think I work 22 of 24 days. So it's fun. But I still did some stuff. I fixed the crash damage on the Ombre.
Yay!
Yeah, and I replaced the clutch slave, which was interesting. It's a different design clutch slave cylinder. It's all metal, and I had to actually cut part of it off to get it to fit on.
That's okay.
Yeah. Is it
does it work, though?
Also, I am prepping the Ombre for its new owner. So,
Yep.
Bill out there, if you're listening, that's what's going on. So, there we go. News from Toe Pig Land.
Jeff, did it work,
I drove
though?
a Nissan Titan, and I liked it.
He can't hear you.
Oh,
Apparently
am I out?
Nope.
Did it
no,
work?
just-
We
Did
can
the
hear you.
Ombre
I just want to
thing
know if
work?
the Ombre works.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm totally losing you each time.
All right, we'll just
no
keep
idea
talking,
whether you're
Jeff.
talking to me or not.
We are. You just keep talking.
Yeah. We don't like you.
Or
we'll cut you
not.
off.
No, he can't.
Anyway.
He can't hear you.
Okay,
So
can't
Jeff-
hear.
I can't
All right.
hear.
So apparently
I'm here.
Jeff drove a Nissan Titan and liked it. And,
I did.
Yeah.
Now you can hear. Or can you
Okay.
not hear? Come on.
Keep popping back in. I also want to say I repaired the overly rusty Avalanche and fixed the transmission lines, which are going into the transmission cooler. And I drove it around, and I just really think there is no better tow pig than the 2500 Avalanche. Just this one is horrible. This one is so bad. Like it's the worst truck ever. But damn it if it's not a beast.
Okay.
And
Yeah. A rusty beast.
Or is it
It's a
Datsun
Citroen.
Is
Citroen.
is it Datsun pickup fixed? Because there's different levels.
No.
hey, Mental, you're a little far from the mic, Mental. Come on.
All right. Well, yeah, Datsun pickup.
There we go.
It's on fire. Okay.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that was it. That was
Cool.
what I did.
Cool. Mental, what are you up to?
Mental.
Grid Life in Radwood at Road Atlanta. We'll talk about that later. I joined the Atlanta Motorsports Park Fall Karting League. Our first race is tomorrow night.
What?
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where is it?
Atlanta
Atlanta
Motorsports
Motorsports
Park.
At Atlanta,
Yeah,
Atlanta,
Dawsonville.
okay. Cool.
Dawsonville, it's about 90 minutes from my house, but it's about 45 minutes from work, so I'm going up there. And in fact, I'll be up there this Sunday doing another Drive Strong Atlanta. Got my NASA
cool.
time trial license, and now
Sweet.
I got to figure out
Wow.
how to get Project Tank Cat dynoed so I can get classified in the slowest possible class of time trials. Because I'm going to try and do a time trial at NOLA here September 8th and 9th.
Oh, I had no
Cool.
idea. That was a racing weekend for you. It wasn't just standing around taking pictures of pretty cars.
Oh yeah, no, well, no, this weekend, yeah, Grid Life. I was teaching and doing all the kinds of stuff, but I've been working on my time trial license down at NOLA for a while.
Oh,
And yeah, in
cool.
fact, I am actually Jeff's working every day. I'm like racing every weekend right up until the CNC wedding, and then I'm actually racing the weekend following the CNC wedding.
That doesn't suck.
Mhm.
Or not. How about that?
Not in a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Chris,
fantastic.
What are you working on?
Well, we had
Chris,
Chrissy-
tell me what you're working on.
Well, actually, this is the one time you don't necessarily know because you're not here.
there. No.
We had a nice weekend away in the Hamptons, Sonny, didn't we?
We did. It was
visiting
lovely.
a friend of mine, and then otherwise I've been doing some housework, more cabinet stuff, and lighting, and cleaning, and all kinds of stuff like that.
You've been a cleaning machine,
I've been
apparently.
sealing tile and things like that. What? I also did a full leatherique treatment to the Mercedes and the NSX over the last 2 nights. See,
Wait, are you telling me it doesn't have real leather? It has leatherique in it? Is that what you're saying?
No, and it doesn't have MB Tex either, because MB Tex is like the only thing that'll be here, like with the cockroaches after the world ends.
Yes,
But
exactly.
it actually the Mercedes does have real leather, but the Rolls Royce, our infamous $1,000 Rolls Royce that we raced, came with a brand new full leatherique kit in the trunk. This is leather conditioner, cleaner, oils, etc. And it's
Like
this is
big jugs of them,
Yeah.
like this big.
and this is
Yeah,
the
that
real
was
deal
awesome.
stuff that the Rolls Royce people and the Ferrari people use.
That's
so
like
I used
worth
them.
half the price of the rolls.
Pretty
Kind
much,
of.
right. So
Yeah.
I did it a full application of the Mercedes and the NSX, and last night and tonight I cleaned it all off, buffed it all off after I left both cars out in the sun all day where it was 95 degrees, so they could kind of bake in, which is what they say to do. So anyway, and I also cut the grass tonight, even though it was 94 degrees, because we're not going to have a chance to do it for a week. So that's exciting. So I was a dirty, dirty mess. Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I wasn't around to see
Uh-huh.
it. Yes. There's that.
Uh-huh. So what are you doing, Chrissy?
What am I doing? So I also spent a lovely weekend in the Hamptons.
You
with Chris
did?
and
Did
a
you
friend.
did you see Chris? He was in the
I
Hamptons
did.
too.
I know. Isn't it
And
amazing?
we also saw a whale.
Yeah, we did. Like a couple
We
whales.
saw like couple
Humpback
whales
while
Yeah.
eating breakfast.
So cool. Okay.
That is.
So we were there, and then we left a little bit late. We did some timing adjustments, and Chris was like, "Oh, we can make it if we spend some time on the porch having a nice glass of rosé and burger taste test." And we said, "No, we can get away with leaving so I could get a flight out of Newark to get to Minnesota, which is where I am today." And we left Sunday. It was Sunday afternoon, and by the time we got closer and closer, we were like, we are just not going to make it. So I had to reschedule my flight on the fly. And of course, nothing is good at rescheduling when you're supposed to be on a flight right now. So then I was like, well, maybe we'll fly out the next day, maybe because I had a little bit extra time. And then
What
everything
airline?
is this was United, but I basically did any time that was available to try to leave. So I was flying out of Newark, which I've never done before, and so
Love
then
Newark.
it was fine. Is that sarcasm or not?
No, it is. It's a great airport.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
lot
everything
easier
was-
to get to than everything else in the New York metro area.
Sure.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
got
I mean, it
hit
was a
hard by
fine-
the Cross Bronx Expressway and among
Yeah,
various
don't
other
touch
things.
that.
I know.
Well, we didn't have another option to try to get around when we literally had like 15 minutes to get on the flight. And we're like, this just didn't happen. So the next flight that was available out of Newark was 5 hours later, 4+ hours later. So we went with that, and it was fine. It only cost me $75. Changed flights anyway. So I hung out for a couple hours, did some work, had some pad thai and a glass of wine, and all as well. So then I got to Minnesota. So I've been in Minnesota, right in the Mall of America for the last 3 days, and I've been confined to a conference room that may or may not have had windows. So I didn't know if the world was exploded or not. Everybody was saying, "Oh, it's the heat wave," and I was like, I really went from my room to the conference room, back up to my room to get changed, go to the gym that I could barely see a window out of. So I really didn't know if it was hot or cold. So that's been nice, because I think it was normal, then got really hot, then got really cold. There's some rain in between, whatever. So that's what I am doing, and I'm flying out tomorrow, and we'll come home. So that's why I do not know what Chris has been up to, because I didn't. Okay, so that's enough about me. So we have a special guest, which we have not talked to or talked about yet right now. So Cathy McCaws Bus, hopefully I said that correctly, sorry, has helped found Chump Car and now Champ Car, back in 2009, starting Lucky Dog in 2015. She was previously VP of Global Marketing for Oracle Utilities. And amongst other things, we're going to talk, amongst other things we'll talk about, tomorrow she leaves for Indy at Portland. That's awesome. Cathy, what you working on?
Well, thank you again for having me, and congratulations on 50 episodes. That's actually quite remarkable.
We don't know how it happened either. Against all odds, here we are. Right.
Now
I know about
we
these things. Yeah. I'm starting my 5th season with Lucky Dog after someone suggested, why don't you start your own league? So I know how these things creep up on you. But yeah, tonight we're getting ready. The co-owner of this series is my husband, Greg Fuss, and he did a great job on the names, by the way.
Oh, good.
And we take our vacation time and say that we're going to go somewhere without a racetrack, and it never happens.
Yeah.
So
thank God.
This is what happens. I can't even tell you the amount of places we've vacationed. We've even flown home to race over a weekend and gone back on vacation, but that's another story.
That's awesome.
But, Indy returns to Portland International Raceway this weekend for the first time in 20 years. And while I'm not necessarily an open wheel girl, my roots are kind of in dirt track racing and of course in endurance racing. And I have been to an open wheel race. What's interesting is we're about 20 minutes from Sonoma Raceway, which Indy is here every year. We'll be here in 2 weeks. We've never been, yet we'll get on a plane and spend the weekend up in Portland. Portland's just a really, really special market for Lucky Dog. There are, as I was talking to Mendel earlier, so many of these endurance racers in the Pacific Northwest, and the Portland area has been really good to this group and to Lucky Dog specifically. We kind of feel like it's our home track, even though we're based out of the San Francisco Bay Area. So we're really excited to go and attend a race and not be responsible for black flagging anybody or
you can
over
relax.
Or who had the line, or how the day goes. But
yes, we do.
And it's just been craziness. I don't know if you knew, Discovery Channel is doing a grassroots endurance racing series TV show that's called Chasin' Racin'. And they have actually filmed 4 episodes now with Lucky Dog, and we're getting ready to film our 5th one on September 15th and 16th at Oregon Raceway Park, which is about 2 hours east of Portland. But in the throes of all of this Indy activity, we got to see the first episode today, and we're going to be debuting it at our Oregon Raceway event. So it's really exciting to see, this kind of exposure for grassroots racing. And as I was mentioning earlier, I started in dirt track racing. So I'm a circle girl. I could only turn left. And even that was debatable my first season. As my husband will tell you, the 3 cars that are still tore up on the side of the house.
That's awesome.
But I started in Lemons, like a lot of other people, and I found out today that Mental and I were on the same racetrack at the same time back in 2007.
And you lived to tell, Cathy. Well done.
I did, and that was Altamont Motorsports.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Oh, wow.
Well, here's another thing. I almost joined Mental for that race. Like, he and I had talked about it by email, and I was going to fly out from Connecticut to join him for that race, and it's a good thing I didn't. So, yeah.
Our team did not do well.
I don't think any team did well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was
that got crushed, the 740 IL that got crushed that day. But yeah,
they cut the roof off of it and they went back out there, because that was back in the days of just you could run a stock seat and a 3-point belt and a roll bar.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
It's scary.
Terrifying.
Really, really terrifying. It's scary. At that time, I was the vice president of global marketing. Not global marketing, but marketing for Altamont Motorsports Park, which is a very historic track. And I know this is all before your time, but back in 1969, in the Summer of Love, they decided to have a Rolling Stones concert.
Oh, yes. And they hired the Hells Angels as security.
They did for $500 and beer was the payment. Wow. And people died and got stabbed, and there's lots of movies about it and stuff. And so back in 2005, actually the original founder of Jump Car, John Condren, brought that track back to life and went to NASCAR, got it re-sanctioned, was the only NASCAR sanctioned short track in the Bay Area until it was shut down in 2008 because of a burrowing owl, a kit fox, and a fancy salamander.
Yeah, I would say because of that D-bag lawyer that lived across the street and wanted to ride his dirt bike.
Exactly. That guy died, by the way. I found out he's dead. See, you shouldn't mess with racers. No, I'm only kidding.
No. Hey, that's not violence. That's karma, and there's a distinct difference.
Mm-hmm. There is a difference. So yeah, that's how I met the Lemons folks, and once we started driving Lemons and learning more about how to turn left and right, and realizing that endurance racing is kind of cool because nobody beats each other up in the paddock after the race. There's no armed security.
Usually, anyway.
Chrissy, once Chrissy gets 2 shots of whisky in her, though, you just need to stay out of arm's reach of her because she starts throwing punches.
Okay, I don't drink whiskey, and it's not violent. No, he's kidding. That's not true. Really, it's not.
Gotta stay out of trouble. They're actually pretty good at Lucky Dog, I must say. These drivers have come a long way. But yeah, after that.
All right.
Lucky Dog on March 17th, 2015, St. Patrick's Day. So you'll notice that the 4-leaf clover is part of our logo.
Cute.
And it's just been a wild ride. You guys need to come out here. We go to places like Sonoma and Laguna Seca, all kinds of great tracks.
Yeah, Jeff got a little weak in the knees at the Laguna Seca mention, so
quite.
He's not the only one. I had an attack of the Vipers. I got to tell you, Laguna's on my bucket list.
Oh, it's on all of ours.
I'm making an offer to all of you. We have 2 Lucky Dog cars that we use for media. And we race in mid-January. If you are willing to fly out, in fact, you could stay at the beach house. We always rent a beach house while we're out there. Stay with the staff and drive Laguna Seca, and we'll take your picture on the corkscrew. I'm dead serious.
So
I'm with a good time. I feel like I'm about to be calling in to sick to work in January.
Is this where I try not to curse? Say hell yeah? That's not the word I want to use.
Sign us up.
Sorry, I'm pulling up a kayak search right now for flights.
Okay, well, no. As soon as I said that to you, the co-owner of Lucky Dog just walked in.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say he said no, and I was like,
Greg Buzz. Greg Buzz and everyone racers.
Hello there.
Hi, Greg.
Are we on camera?
So we just volunteered your race cars. They're coming out for Laguna Seca.
Volunteered it for what?
For all of them.
Yeah.
And that's when we lost audio.
Just when they were going to
basically, she said volunteered your race car. And you reached over and hit the disconnect button.
Gotta go.
He did. He's down here giving me. I'm just kidding. People in race cars all the time, and it's really a great experience. I'm hoping you'll come out.
Most of us have a history of actually being very kind to race cars and not crashing them and not black flagging them. So, yeah.
Actually, if it's our car, yeah. But yeah, somebody else's car, we're real good about that.
No, we don't crash.
Absolutely. No, we don't. It's been good. Well, wonderful, Cathy. That's a great intro. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate you having us and for your very generous offer. Certainly, I think it's going to be hard to keep us away from that. I'll put it that way.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's all over but the crying right now.
Yeah. So hey,
right.
and we'll get
Move
back
on.
to that more and hear more from Cathy about Lucky Dog, because I know I'm interested to hear more, and I've heard a lot of good things from others. So it's time now for news and notes. Jeff, you out there to actually be able to say anything? Or can
I
you hear
am
us?
here. I have moved closer to the Wi-Fi location, but in a closet. It is much more echoey.
Yes.
So maybe it'll work, maybe it won't.
It's working now. Let's go.
This is
Working
the
now. So-
things we do for you,
Tube of
listeners.
mockery.
Sitting in a closet.
I don't have a tube of
Oh, I
mockery.
do.
It's in
Hang
my-
on.
So-
the Tube of Mockery brought to you by Lucky Dog Racing.
Hold on, Chris is gonna go, Jeff.
So we talked about the Crash 1987 959 last week at the Mecum auction. It sold for slightly less than expected at $425,000 plus fees. So they did show the pictures of the crashed car in the trailer, and it was a nice enclosed trailer that looked about looked just like a perfectly normal trailer. You'd bumper pull behind a regular car. So I guess if you have $1 million Porsche, pay to transport it.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
I'll be honest. If I'm one of those guys that hit the lottery, I would totally drop $500,000 on a 9.5.
Totally.
Sure.
Sure.
If you have the means, I highly suggest picking
I
one.
highly suggest
They
it.
are so choice.
Yeah. I definitely would have about 27 Porsches, but none of them would probably be the 959 because
And none of them would run.
none of them would. It's true.
No, one at a time. One at a time.
I'll
would
be
run.
here all day.
Or actually, no, would run. His Mazda would still run. That's
It's
what
absolutely true. Mazda
Okay,
3,
keep going.
bumper for life. While I have
Keep going.
internet, let me mention the August 25th Chimp Car Cookie Cutter Classic at Gingerman 8+7 ran last week. First place, RBRanking.com 19 Honda. Second place was Ludicrous Speed in their Toyota MR2. Third, GWR Reno Watson Racing in their, are you ready for the boring clip? 1987
Boring.
BMW 325. Boring. They also were first on Sunday. TRW Motorsports in their 318 was second on Sunday, and Ludicrous Speed in the MR2 breaking the top three both times in their MR2.
And we've talked about that Ludicrous Speed team, and we've talked about the R-Bank Racing CRX. It's a good team. They know how to keep that car out on the track.
Yep, and there were some other places, but yeah, we'll keep moving.
Cool.
But there's a Pulsar. You didn't say
I know,
Yeah.
the Pulsar was 47th.
But
Yeah, I
it was
know.
it's
44 laps.
but the fact that it's an '86 Nissan Pulsar, good for them.
Yeah.
And hey,
First of all,
Exactly.
here's a
Not
big
right.
surprise: the '79 TR7 did not start. And my team that I picked just because of their name, the Butt Lords, did not start.
Wait, how do you not start? Like, I don't get that.
That means
They
you
didn't
didn't show
show
up. Or your car was broken and they never
Well, that's what I was more thinking than they were
We
broken. I
have
was like,
sat
hey.
there and watched a team build a roll cage all weekend. How many
I
times have
guess.
we watched Speedy Cop never get anything out onto there?
Okay.
So, yeah. Chris,
All right, so turn and burn. My Cavalier was 49th on Saturday, so I guess it ran, which is good. But and then
Did
Cal's
better
picks
than the
from
Butt
last-
Lords. So
Yeah, I guess. So Cal's picks from last week was the Cosi Racing, the Miata. No listing Saturday, 11th on Sunday, so that's good. And then the Well Lubricated Racing, the Ford Focus, did not start both days.
they must have
This
been
is
hanging out
sad.
with the Butt Lords, the well-lubricated
Well,
folks.
like, who does
All right,
that?
all right. Can I
well
mention everyone
lubricated
racer
butt lords. There's nothing
What?
wrong.
Go ahead.
If they didn't start, even if we talked about them in the show before, we're gonna skip them from now on. Let's talk
This is
about
like
the people
this is like an
that actually showed up.
after
That's
a
meeting.
wrap.
This is
Yeah.
how the
Fine.
sausage is made, folks. All right.
Exactly.
So Chris, you should add here about your concern about team names. I feel like because this might be a
I
good
had
place to
rant
start about
as
it.
We were getting ready for our show.
Yeah, I
Before
feel like
you
this is a
were
good place for it.
If you are so uncreative that you cannot think of a name for your race team other than your own name, then you need to either make a friend who's creative and ask them, or have some drinks, or ask someone else, or ask anyone, literally
Google.
anyone.
Ask
What?
Google.
Right.
What should I call my
Do you
race
have
team?
a specific team you want to call out here?
No, not particularly.
No, he just got
Just
mad.
in general. I just think that there's so many wonderful names, and if you a name is fun, have some fun. and make a name that's not your own. Like that name's already in use. Try something else.
This is like
It's
Chris
not like,
Abbott Racing.
Right. It's not like you're going to go pro and you need to build up your driver resume and name recognition because you're going to bring in sponsors because you're working yourself toward the going pro. You're not. You're running fun endurance racing. This is fun. There are no shoutouts in the stands.
Get off
I'm
your
pushing the like button right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kathy has something to say.
Kathy's got some input on this.
Yeah, Kathy, what's up?
This whole being a marketing gal, I would think that the best part of this racing is coming up with great names.
Totally.
I can't tell you. This is a pet peeve for me too.
Oh, good.
So I'm right with you guys. You get teams and they're either down as the B team. I had someone recently say, "Oh, well, put us down as race team." So at the drivers meeting, I
that's
made
actually pretty good on like the
example out of them.
Yes, good.
And so we named them. And so what we did is we had at the drivers meeting, we asked everybody to pick their favorite alcohol.
Oh,
Someone shouts out ouzo. We asked them to pick out their favorite animal, and they say ocelot. To this day, this team is still the ouzo ocelots. Trust me, you want to come up with your own name.
That's brilliant.
That's so awesome. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Organizer's privilege. If your name sucks, we're going to give you a name at the race. I love that.
I like it. Well done, Kathy. Well done. I like that. All right.
All right, Mental, you have a couple more?
So the nothing hotter
don't
than
care.
a Cougar Racing, they did well. 24th Saturday, 22nd Sunday.
We already talked about the other ones.
Banks and the Jaeger Bombers in there. Boring. BMW didn't start.
Didn't start.
We're not supposed to talk about those. Didn't you?
I know.
Did you miss the memo?
Talk about things that did start. Now, I was at
For
Grid
the-
Life this weekend,
for the-
and it was awesome. Period. Dot. But on Friday, unfortunately, they had a new Grid Life record of 13 crashes.
Ouch.
And this physically hurt and emotionally hurt Adam Jabay. We'll talk about that in a second. But including Doug Wynn in his notoriously fast stock class Neon SRT4. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that video.
I've seen the video. I saw it when it happened. It
Yeah,
posted
but now
about
just look
20
how
minutes
fast it's
after.
going on that back straightaway when that turbo comes on. And we've all driven Road Atlanta. You know he's hauling the mail. That is impressive.
Absolutely.
So it made all of the Facebook rounds I was still at work on Friday when I was seeing pictures of the crashed Corvette, and it was devastating to watch. The driver walked away, so God bless modern safety equipment, but it caused several other crashes, and it took Doug out of the hunt. And Doug's actually looking at a title this year for Grid Life on Time Attack, and he's a phenomenally nice guy. And you've also got the view from the GTR. And actually, what was interesting about the GTR comments on the video is everybody wasn't being mean. And in fact, someone even pointed out, why are you guys being so nice to the GTR driver? And the general consensus is it's racing. Things happen. All right. They dodged as best they could. They minimized the crash, and that hurts. But this statement from Adam Jabay, where he posts it on Facebook, in all seriousness, these people are my friends. Many of them legit real life people, my trackside teams, and I love and want them to come around on Sunday at Cold Track Hour. I always feel personally responsible and dire sadness over these kinds of things, and a few people know just how far I'll try to go to keep people out of harm's way on a racetrack. This sport and this event series is my life passion, and I want all the constructive criticism. I want it for all of us drivers, for the sport in general. We'll take it. We'll make things better. Never stop improving, and I've never come away from a single Grid Life feeling like I did nothing wrong ever. I always want more safety and smoothness, always, from all of us and the drivers. All of this in name and smiles, fun and friendship. I literally love my paddock people. So that was really cool of Adam, and that leads into what was interesting is this week I was instructing at Grid Life, and we had no in-car instruction, none. For the beginner group, nobody sat in a car. In fact, we were forbidden.
Hey.
And we
No
did.
right seat.
Trackish? Track problem? Track rule?
No. This is how Grid Life is doing it from now on. They take every instructor and they put us each in a corner station, and we all took notes on every car that went around. And of all of the incidents this weekend, they only had one fender wrinkling incident with the beginners, and he was back on track the next session. So there's some legitimacy to that. While I was there, I actually got to talk to Haywood Wagner, who's the new SECA chairman, and this fits right in with their philosophy of just get people on the track, and you'll be surprised how self-regulating they are.
Well,
Give them
Hayward's the
basics.
one that started the whole like fun with cars and the experiential thing and started Track Night in
Absolutely.
America and all that stuff. So he's been pushing that in general. It's just it's a very different way of doing things. And having been in the right seat so many times, I'm just not sure how I would coach someone nearly as effectively. I've stood in the stands and watched
By
people,
standing
and
in
I don't
a corner.
see the same things I see, and I don't feel the same things
No.
I feel when I'm in the car.
And see, that's the thing is coaching and instructing. This is beginner's group. Get them around the track safely. Get them, know what an entry point is, know what an apex point is, know what a track out point is, know how to give point buys. And to that end, we did a great job. Now, the intermediates, they had right seat instruction. They had folks out there coaching them and making them faster, but we're not even trying to make them faster at this point, Chrissy.
Are you pro or con this effort of not having a right seat, not being in the right seat, being on the corner?
Having seen it work so effectively this weekend, if you'd asked me this question on Friday, my answer would have been different. Sunday, for beginners, I am 100% pro. Jeff, you've got something.
No, I mean, we've talked about this probably somewhere in the shows in the 20s, which, by the way, the shows in the 20s are horrible. Please don't go back and listen to them. But, I think we talked about it after a pretty severe injury of a right seat instructor. And, we don't know how long right seat instruction is going to last in a more litigious society with all the video. I almost think that, video coaching may someday replace right seat driving.
Sure.
I'm not saying it's the best thing. I'm not saying it's what we should be doing. But, the world is dangerous out there.
Yeah, but not outside.
There's a difference between if you get technology at the point where you can have a live data stream and live video from in the car, then absolutely I can coach you really well from sitting here. And that's fine.
We have
right.
on watching a YouTube, watching
GoPro. The thing I worry about is you're going to miss in the situation Mel's describing is the fairly the timely feedback. If someone goes out in 20 minutes and is doing something wrong, I can't tell them to fix it for 20 minutes. And now they're starting to get muscle memory out. They're starting to think that's right, and now it's going to build in. It's going to be harder to fix. I think there's things we need to work through on it. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I just think let's try to figure out how to solve the problems.
Well, and the conversation I had with Haywood, he goes back to his camp days. And his camp days, when you went to summer camp, it wasn't this, okay, I'm going to tell you every little thing. It was just get people involved in the activity. And I think that's what Grid Life is trying to get back to, which is kind of their roots and their HPDEs. Just get some folks on the track. And then when they really get addicted, now let's get them some right seat coaching. Now let's start getting them faster. But give them the basics of how to do it safely. And I watched them all progress all weekend. It was a lot of debriefing, a lot of face-to-face. I was taking notes. We had radios and we were talking about, hey, yellow type R is doing this, so-and-so's doing this. And if they were doing something dangerous, they were black flagged immediately, brought in, told exactly what they were doing wrong, given the steps to fix it. Several instructors, like one guy got on the radio Sunday and he said, hey, the red Corvette, he has to touch every apex with his inside tire. And if he doesn't, then I want to know about it. We're all calling. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. They red flagged him or black flagged him, brought him in. Hey, I told you to touch the inside of every apex. And how they were doing it, it was really working. And Friday, I was against it, but I was playing the game because I wanted to learn a new technique to instruct. And it worked, man. It really worked.
Hey, I'll give it a try. I'm down to check it out.
And that's why I like hearing your story about it, Mental, because that's so much more interesting than any of the rest of it. So thank you.
And my student, Yusuf, Reading, PA transplant. I recognized the area code when I texted him. I'm like, hey, you're in Pennsylvania. You're my friends. He goes, no, I live in Austin, Texas, but I used to live in Reading. And he drove all the way. He drove all the way from Austin. So this was what was great about that is he was so not being aggressive because he had to have his tires and brakes make it all the way back to Texas.
Oh, yeah.
We played that game before.
Yeah. So good on him. And he was great. He really did. He progressed nicely. He was very smooth by the end of the weekend.
Cool.
Awesome.
Hey, we got a race next weekend. September 1st, Champ Cars doing a Thompson 12-hour, 37 cars. That doesn't seem like very many.
Wow.
We were just there with 120. But hey, you have a good open track, and they're mostly boring. There's
Yeah,
there's
totally.
9 BMWs, 11 Miatas, 4 Hondas, 2 Porsches, and a Mustang SVO. That's kind of interesting.
That is cool.
I like there's an
Basically
87 CRX. Is anyone running the first gen CRX?
We
You can't
talked
even
about
find
those
parts
guys
for
before.
those. Yeah,
We talked
these
about
guys,
the
I don't know
big
how they do it. Interesting, good for them. The least boring BMW there is 2002. So that's somewhat interesting. You have to care at least a little bit to do that. So I like that.
I have a faux Shogun here in their Fiesta. Wonder if it's a real Shogun. I wonder if some
It's not.
coupe is going to be there.
It's not a Shogun, right?
Those guys run lemons. It's a
it is a
Festiva,
Shogun.
not a Fiesta.
Festiva.
And
sorry.
It's a Mazda BP 1.6 powered Festiva.
It used to be yellow.
It is still yellow. It's kind of
Yeah.
It's a solid Class B car in lemons.
They know what they're doing too. They can drive that car.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if Sunkook is going to be there. Wonder
I
if
didn't
they're one
see
of the
them on
many
the list.
I didn't
BMWs.
either. No.
Yeah, maybe they changed their name or something. Who knows?
Probably not.
Jamaican Bacon. We've run across those guys before. They're funny, even if they're just driving a Miata.
No, they're kind of jerks, actually. But here's the thing that's interesting about them. No, seriously, they are kind of jerks. I had an incident with them in the paddock once where they decided that the rules that they decided to make their own rules in the paddock. Anyway, but the interesting thing about them is they're now running a 2017 Miata Cup car. They used to run an NA.
What?
Yeah, they were an NA, old NA with
Right. So they went
big
from
old
an NA
joint on the top.
to a 2017
Cup car?
Cup car. So
That's not what
interesting.
then they must not be running that in lemons though.
No,
not lemons. But I imagine they're probably running the GTO or something.
No, I know. Yes, I understand. Thank you.
And then Matt Connolly.
We've
Matt
Connolly Motorsports.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Please listen to Chris's rant earlier. Next.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Matt, you're a good racer. We've run against you in AER before, but you're a terrible themer. So yeah, come up with a better name.
Uh-huh.
For example, Chrissy.
Oh well, and I don't even care about this. A boring BMW, but their name Safety Third Motorsport. So
Love it.
Okay.
Good.
So, you want to go? Go ahead.
Yeah, say September 1st and 2nd. Champ Car's also up at Oregon Raceway, but it's not, their entrant list isn't on their website. They're running a 888. But hey, everybody that's going up there, that's in Cathy's neck of the woods. Good luck, folks.
It's canceled.
That's why the entrant list is not there, because there's nobody.
Yeah, you can't go racing at Oregon Raceway Park when you've got Indy and Portland.
Oh yeah, you know what? I totally should have figured that out. Sorry, that was just my bonehead move.
No problem. So
Hey.
not there, but you know who? Somebody is going to be on a racetrack somewhere with extreme experience, puts you in the driver's seat with some of the world's best supercars at over 20 racetracks in America and Canada, with no speed limits, no shifting restrictions, and no governors. Head to xxspeed.com, choose your supercar, find a racetrack near you, and start making a story of your own. 7 models of exotic cars and supercars to choose from, 20 plus racetracks, and a year-round location in NOLA. Pro instructors like Chris, Jeff Mental, and Cal, who was on last week, can be in the car with you, helping you explore the car's limits and learn how to drive the racing line and other fun things. Save 25%. Seriously, 25% is pretty awesome. When you use the code EveryoneRacers, no space, at xxspeed.com to book today. Extreme experience. It's your turn. Chris.
And hey, we're pleased to announce that Everyone Racers is now the official media partner of Flocktoberfest, the second annual Flocktoberfest. Woo! It's an epic gathering of road course endurance racing enthusiasts who live to drive really cheap race cars at really cool racetracks. And how do you go wrong? It's chickens and racing. Yeah, right?
Chickens and racing.
Chrissy,
If you've
what do
ever
you
wondered how about the budget endurance racing scene, if you're a run with 24 Hours of Lemons, Lucky Dog Racing League, Chump Car, which is Champ Car maybe, WRL, AER, NASA, SCCA, or a variety of HPDEs or club such as BMW, Porsche, and etc., this is your chance to attend North America's first, only, and largest endurance racing meetup of this kind with an exotic chicken ranch. This is so cool. At the second annual Flocktober Fest happening Saturday, October 6th, 2018, 1 to 6 p.m. How's it going to end at 6 p.m.? It sounds like it's going to be an amazing day. And this is at Faster Farms, Oakley, California, which we probably won't truck out there. Rain or shine, awesome sauce.
But we will be sad.
We will be sad. But, folks, it's free parking. Now, there is a warning. Chickens are going to be wandering, and you're not responsible for getting eggs laid in your vehicles. But you get your discounted advance tickets now. If your kid is 16 or under, they are free. And if they're 16, that means you've got a ride home if you've had too much to drink. New for 2018, overnight camping, but the space is limited and has to be reserved online. RV and campers have to be self-contained. They've got no RV hookups, water, electric, or gray water. Chris?
And the reason kids 16 and under are free is that this is an educational event for them about life experiences and things not to do. So that's really what it's about.
If you are bringing your 16-year-old, they're not going to have ID and they're not going to get the alcohol okay wristband. No exceptions. You can be part of Flock History event shirts, hoodies, ball caps available for purchase at the event. All the net proceeds will benefit the local Brentwood 4-H club to support the future chicken ranchers of tomorrow. Questions, or if you want to help sponsor, email info@flock-toberfest.com. We're going to put all these links in the show notes. I have to say, Cathy, you've sat there silently listening to us butcher your plugs. Why don't you jump in here and tell us all about Flocktoberfest? It sounds fantastic. It sounds like a lot of people are going to go home with like broken noses and
not exactly.
No injuries,
exactly.
Jeff.
You know, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, even back in the Champ Car days. And one of the things that Lucky Dog does in April, in cooperation with actually the largest West Coast auto swap meet, which is the Portland swap meet, the first weekend in April, we host a big racers open house, and we have an open bar, blah, 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 blah. But we've never had anything down here in what we call the southern region. And there's a Lemons team that you possibly may know.
We do.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Which is TCT, which is Team Camel Toe, and that's Gavin and his lovely wife, Kristen Ombry. They recently moved to the 7-acre chicken ranch. And so they have all these exotic birds and a beautiful shop, and it's really a neat environment. So last year I said, come on, let's try to put together a gathering. Most of these racers are here in the Bay Area, and it was just unbelievable. I mean, we have a live band, it's a car show, it's a swap meet. There's demonstrations by some of the race vendors. I mean, they do a fire demonstration. What could be better than chickens, a beer truck, and fire, right?
I'm down. I'm so there.
America.
Yeah. Oh, sounds
America.
so unsafe.
And it has just turned out to be this amazing event. And what's really cool is, regardless of what endurance series you're running, we all get together. So Lemon helped sponsor last year. Lucky Dog is taking the lead just to get this thing off the ground. But this year we added camping. Now, I may regret this, but I will report back. I will report back what happens at the chicken ranch overnight.
It sounds like people are gonna be stealing chickens on the way home. I love this bird. I'm taking it with me.
I feel like the first rule of the chicken ranch is you don't talk about what happened at the chicken ranch, and the second rule of the chicken ranch is you don't talk about what happened at the chicken ranch.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. What happens at the chicken ranch stays at the chicken ranch. But it's really a great opportunity for folks that have been sitting on the fence, no pun intended, who have wondered about Lemons and Champ Car and Lucky Dog, etc. And they get to come out and just meet people. We've got fancy food trucks there. We've got a thing called the Lucky 13 beer trucks, which has 13 of the Bay Area craft beer on tap.
That's almost worth flying out for right there.
It is. It's really a neat event. So I think this thing will continue to grow. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned about adding overnight camping.
There you go. Well, you know what? I think this sounds amazing. I want to mention to everyone that we're going to put all the links in the show notes. If you don't know where the show notes is, there's a little button next to the title of the show, and you click that, and it says show notes, and you can read all these links. And the reason I'm saying this is because I had some listener feedback, and we're about to get to there, that said, hey, everyone, you always talk about the show notes, where the hell are the show notes? So there it is. Check on your podcast app somewhere on your phone. There should be a little link that says show notes. And we're going to make sure to put the Eventbrite up so you can get your tickets. Yes, it is a ticketed event. You do need to pay for if you're going to be camping. You do need to register early. Anything else we're missing before we get to the next thing, Cathy?
Yeah,
no,
Jeff.
great job, and I'd love to have you guys out next year.
Hey Jeff, on iTunes when you're looking for show notes, you just scroll down. Like when you're in the episode to play it, just scroll down in your window on your phone, and all the show notes are right there.
Jeff's also talking about on the Shout Engine link too. And
Sure.
just because we're such a fan of this event, anything that brings racers together, we're going to make sure these links are on the Facebook as well.
There you go.
Cool
You
stuff.
can you can put it on Twat.
All right,
too.
listener.
I could.
Insta what?
Insta what?
Oh, wait, that's
Let's do listener feedback. Who's got something?
All right, so from Instagram.
Insta what?
So Daniel, the leader for the Garden State Goons who ran the Mom Rocket, said, I listened to your race recap podcast last night and thoroughly enjoyed it. You guys are entertaining to listen to, and we appreciate the shout-out roasting of our van as well.
Yes, that van was terrible.
It really was.
Oh, sorry,
But hey,
guys.
good for you guys. I'm glad you guys are.
You know what,
are
though?
doing it.
I love it. Keep bringing it. Matt Farinchak, friend of the pod from the Book of Faces, he offered some more advice for my tow pig search. He says, forget the Nissan, get a 2-wheel drive 3/4 ton Suburban or pickup. You hardly drive the thing. 4-wheel drive is such a huge premium over 2-wheel drive. The only thing needs good snow tires to get for winter driving. Sure, Matt, thanks. I live in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Where do you get 2-wheel drive trucks around here?
Atlanta.
I know,
Atlanta.
and they're all rust-free too, Jeff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, everybody missed Mental's dance down there. So Chris Mills, hey, Chris Mills, left us a Facebook review, which is awesome. I laughed out loud when this showed up. Mental is my spirit animal, JK. But I like hearing this group discuss racing and their other interpretations of racing in cars. Thanks, Chris Mills.
Do you know who my spirit animal is? Listener number 1, Chrissy's mom. Chrissy's mom is my spirit animal. Hi, Chrissy's mom.
My goodness, thanks. That's very nice of you. All right.
This is all great. Let's move on to the main topic. We've already been hearing from her. Cathy, we're here to talk about you, and we're going to hear her talk about Lucky Dog. But, let's begin because we have a lot of East Coast listeners. We are kind of East Coast, so we've been really pushing to most of our friends and family here. They might not know exactly what's going on with Lucky Dog. Give us the elevator speech. We know it's a crap can endurance racing, but what is it? What's it different about it? What are your class structure like? Where do you run?
First of all, we don't call it crap can racing on the West Coast. That must be part of the
Jeff,
wine
we're talking
lingo.
about these marketing words.
Sorry, low
amateur endurance racing.
Inexpensive.
They're all a bunch of rust buckets. I have 9 of them in my front yard. Just ask my neighbors, and the county inspector, and the local fire department. But that's another story. No, after being involved with this budget endurance racing for a number of years, one of the things that really frustrated me was how complicated the rules got. I mean, if you're just a Joe average person, you're lucky you know what a roll cage is even all about. And I am going to spill some very interesting information right now. But I didn't race until I was 42 years old. We bought a stock car for my son. He parked it. I said, how hard is this thing to drive? I wrecked 3 cars the first season. But the best thing, it was such a life-changing experience to be in a race car. And I just had my 55th birthday this last Saturday. And
Happy birthday.
I am all about putting people in race cars who've always thought about doing it. And it was interesting to me to hear you guys talk about, Track Night of America and, putting people in the right-hand seat with instructors, which is now getting harder and harder to do on the West Coast. Tracks like both Portland and Sonoma don't allow that anymore. But we're all about an amateur race. And all of us all have the same problem, whether you're AER, Chump Car, or Champ Car, WRL, etc. We all have issues with speed creep. so my biggest challenge is how do I keep it an amateur racing league and still put a cap on this whole speed creep and throwing a lot of money at it. And so we have a little bit different model. So I was out to make sure that we stayed in amateur racing league and that it was easy to do business with us. Easy from the time you registered to the time we dropped the green flag to when you put your car back on the trailer. And so we've got a 16-page rule book that is primarily safety items. And on Saturday morning at each race, we take the first 40 minutes and we allow teams to go out. They cycle their drivers through and we take their average lap time to see where they fit in our classes, which are A, B, and C. And a lot of people are like, well, what if someone's sandbagging? We watch this all day long. And to be honest, people, for the most part, really want to do the right thing. And our goal is to make sure that cheetahs are running with cheetahs and that chihuahuas are running with chihuahuas. And if we see during a race that someone is all of a sudden running faster, we push them up. They're running slower, we push them down. We really want people to walk away over the weekend and feel like they had a legitimate competitive environment and they didn't get their doors blown off. And so that's one thing that is important to us. Now, if someone does go out there and all of a sudden they are way more than great, which is
sorry, everyone. Mental is holding up his chihuahua to the camera to all of us.
All right. Woo! Now that's a one lucky dog.
Whoa!
Touche.
Well done.
So when we have that happen, we have something called a super dog class. And basically what super dog is, I mean, there's teams, really our only real rule is the car has to be 15 years or older. And if you show up with something a little bit newer, we're going to put you in super dog. If you can't find the right, 200 tread wear tires, we're going to put you in super dog. If you go out there and blow everybody's doors off, I'm going to put you in super dog. And it's really kind of a warning of you're driving at 11 tenths and I need you to back off or this is probably not the right place to be. So it can be a really nerve-wracking job because you want these drivers to have a fun, safe race experience, and you certainly don't want to tell customers they can't race with you, but I have to always go back to what my charter statement is, and that's about amateur racing and remembering the first day I got in a race car and put it into turn 2, and my husband said, you're never doing this again.
Now,
well, I
Cathy,
bet you told him you're wrong.
Yeah, and if you didn't, he probably figured it out by now. Now, because Cathy, I was at a WRL race at Road Atlanta a couple years ago, and the Friday, it was an open practice session. The track was hosting it and it was directed at the WRL guys, but 2 guys showed up in radicals because they saw open track day, Road Atlanta, free testing, let's go do it. So they went out there and they were running these radicals while everybody was warming up the WRL, and they went to the race organizers and said, this is kind of cool. Can we join in? And the WRL guys were like, okay, dude, but we're not taking any financial responsibility. Yeah, no problem. We'll run our own class. So now you've got the super dog class. Have you ever had people just show up and go, this series is just too cool. I know I've got too much hardware, but it's great track time. It's great racers. Can I just bring my sledgehammer to this ball peen hammer fight?
Yeah, and I really, as much as I'm a businesswoman, I go back to what is our true calling, because I don't want these new drivers to be intimidated by the flashy, fast car that's zipping past them. It might be a really clean pass and a very aggressive driver, but it's perceived as being very unsafe by that poor novice that's out there. That's not to say that we don't, because most of our drivers, more than half of them come from A class at Lemons. The other half probably come from Champ Car, and we even get pro drivers that come out. We just had Randy Popes with us last month.
Yeah, he's a ride-mooching son of a...
He is.
I mean, I love him, but...
he took my seat. He took my seat.
A good car.
He tried to take my second seat, too, in the same race. I like Randy, but he's taking my seat.
Yeah, no, to answer your question, we require that it's a mass production DOT car. And, when I was back in the Chump Car days when, we were doing 70 events at 37 tracks in 3 countries. I saw a lot of different race cars, especially down in the South, and you're dealing with, a lot of cars that were coming out of NASCAR tracks and or NASCAR shops and stuff. I don't have quite that problem here on the West Coast, but every now and again, you'll see someone show up with something that really isn't appropriate. We let them run in Superdog for the day. If they're clean and it's not causing problems, I'll let them stay, but we have had to ask people to leave. I've got to keep that, 95% of my client base happy.
Right.
Jeff, you had a point on this.
Jeff had something.
Yeah. I mean, speed creep is a problem in all of the low buck series. The big thing that I think that we're having trouble out here in the East Coast, we've talked about it in AER, is, AER was created to get away from lemons because of the speed differential. And they're having the same problem again because, Spec Miatas and Challenge Ferraris are showing up. And I think it's a great thing that you're doing out there because the speed differential is probably more important than the speed creep. If everybody's going faster, it's okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's the differential that hurts. And, back in the day, the AER folks, before they became AER, raced with us as the Rally Babies, and just the coolest group of people. I'm excited to see what they're doing, but yeah, their product is definitely different than Lucky Dog, given the types of cars that they accept. And even WRL to a certain extent, they have a power to weight ratio qualifying. Like, as an example, I would never allow radicals to come run with us. Again, that's just so unnerving to a newer driver. But at the end of the day, we all still have to pay the bills.
Yeah,
sure.
Got to get those car counts up.
No, I think it's
Chris,
excellent.
go ahead, you had something.
No, I still think it's excellent that Cathy's you're trying to not only you're trying to do the thread the needle here. You're trying to cater to get the newer people into the sport, which is so important, but not push people out the other side. Like this is something that when Chrissy and I listened to Ross Bentley's show, he's always he kind of, you hear him stuck in the spot because he's like he wants to get encouraging people in the sport, but then he's like, well, I don't know about some of these new endurance racing series that let anybody in. So he is putting himself in a juxtaposition. And I think Cathy, you're doing a nice job of trying to find a sweet spot in that, and I kind of like the way you're talking about it. That's good.
Well, I think there's when people, and Ross is actually, he's from this coast as well, and he's actually been a great supporter of us, and we're lucky to have that kind of resource available. He does amazing marketing and gets information out to people, a lot of information out for free. So he's an important part of this ecosystem. So I appreciate him. But when people come to me with that, this licensed driver thing, I have to tell you, the biggest issues we have are the licensed drivers because they're just confident enough to be out there dicing it up, and that's when stuff happens. I mean, as an example, Portland race last month, I had one of the things we're big on is vets, and we have a team that we've provided the car, everything we fund. It's called Battle Forge Heroes. We took 9 veterans who had never raced before in their life, put them out at Portland, pretty, technical track. The only thing I had was passing under the yellow. I wish I could say that about most of our teams. I don't think it's always about, the newbie. And when people come to me, I tell them one thing: we all started somewhere, and that really diffuses it.
Yeah. Mental, what's up?
Well, just Cathy, I don't know if you know, I'm a retired Air Force, so God bless you for that.
Yes.
Wait. Let me check the box. I'm on my bingo sheet.
I know, right? And Chris is not talking about insurance.
Truck. That's already done. Now mental injury service. That's done.
We're so close to bingo.
Chrissy needs safety, and Chris talks about insurance, and then I have bingo.
Chrissy said something about safety actually earlier,
I said safety third. So that
I have yet to speak about being responsible and stuff.
No, we like Flyboys. That makes it even better.
Well, mental.
We make all kinds of stupid decisions.
He sat in the back of the plane. He didn't actually fly it, so
he did fly it. Well,
he was in the chair force portion of things. No, that was it.
The thing that's cool about it is these guys and gals come back from being overseas, and they need some sense of community. And motorsports is all about that. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
being such an important part of what we do. So I've got another group of 8 people that are driving this stupid ass Jetta, pardon my French, that got donated. And it's got a catapult on the back. I think it's an old Lemon's car, actually. We don't care. And they made it car number 76, very patriotic. And we're going to put another 8 folks out there at ORP in 2 weeks. We've got 71 cars at this event, highly technical track. We run it in both directions. And I will report to you what these guys do, because the newbies want to be cautious. They don't want to tear up someone's equipment.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Some of them, anyway.
Some of
I'm
them.
sure you would know better than we do, but I feel like every once in a while you get a reckless newbie, maybe.
No, and that's when we have no problem asking them to come help me cook dinner on Saturday nights, which is a big part of our sense of community. So we're pretty honest. They are our customers, but if it's not safe, we take them off the track. And we are constantly encouraging folks to go out to these SCCA track night, across America, and track days. At the end of the day, I really don't care who you're racing with, as long as you've taken that opportunity to get in a race car. So we're probably the most collaborative race series out there. I mean, WRNL and I have collaborated on racing out here. We send folks over to Chump Car races. They recently helped us out in Virginia at a bachelor party for one of our teams that just got married on the East Coast.
Oh, cool.
So yes, we specialize in bachelor parties. I hear there's a wedding coming up.
We've talked about it. It's
Yeah.
coming up sooner. We don't have time to race, unfortunately. We're down to like 17 days.
I was going to say, our normal thing is racing. So what would the bachelor party be?
Like, didn't you guys
open track day.
Yeah.
I was going to say it ends up
skip a
being
weekend at the Hamptons to get your license, and now Jeff's got to doctor paperwork over this?
Yeah, we'll get
Still
it.
didn't get it.
No, the bachelor party for us would be like tow vehicle and like pit bike racing. That
That would be cool.
Right?
Now you're talking.
If you had a tow vehicle, you could race, but you don't. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh,
I do. It's working at the moment.
bro.
hey, you don't need a tow vehicle to race. It's like having friends that have a
Yeah.
boat.
I can't get the car
Yeah.
there unless I have it.
That's Mental's philosophy. Is he has an RV, I guess. So you fit into one of those categories of things that are better for other people to own: boats, RVs, race cars, etc.
I trade
Absolutely.
And trailers.
I
Trailers.
trade
Trailers.
race seats. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, what you got?
No, just Cathy. I want to say that I love that you're talking about your mission statement there, and you talk about getting people in. That's really our mission statement. When we designed this podcast, it was everyone can be a racer, including you. And we've done some. I have found it just so great to coach the team from zero to in. And we've had some great conversations with people who just have said, like, I needed someone to make me feel a little bit better about showing up to my first race. So I think Lucky Dog is doing God's work if you're still out there getting people on the track. I love the 40-minute, set your times. I think AER does a similar thing, but they do a lot. They do a couple hours to set your times. And I think that leads to maybe some more strategy. I'll put it that way.
But the same way, they'll bust you if all of a sudden you knock 10 seconds off your time.
Absolutely, and so will AER. So, we think they're running we think, we love all these groups. We want more people racing everywhere.
Absolutely.
So,
Exactly. That's our mission too. Again, I really don't care where you're racing as long as you've had a chance to get behind a race car. I left 30 years or almost 30 years of a software career to go racing, which is stupid because I live in California with a huge mortgage. But when you see people get out of a race car for the first time, I wouldn't trade that for the world.
Yeah.
absolutely. So, Cathy, I looked at your schedule. I'm so jealous. We already mentioned Laguna Seca, but you do real streets in Mexico. You do some real 24s. What's the highlight of your year? What's the big thing going on there? How do you get such cool places to go?
It's interesting because, for me, probably, this will be the fifth year that we've gone to Mexico, and they block the streets off and we drive through downtown.
That is just so awesome.
It is crazy, crazy, crazy.
Mental,
when you are on a racetrack,
you wouldn't end up racing at all. You'd find the tequila, and that's your weekend.
It's
Mexico.
You just I can do both.
You can do both. That's scary. That is scary.
No, and we actually paddock right on the beach. It's the beach.
This is sounding better and better.
I know. There are no rules. And so then we race during the day, which a 9 o'clock driver's meeting starts about 10:30. So you're on Mexico time.
That's awesome.
And then when the race is over, we all go to the strip clubs. I'm not kidding. It is an experience in itself. And we get together for dinners and stuff. It's really a neat experience.
When do you do this?
When's
this on the schedule?
At the end of September. When you are on a racetrack and someone with their cart pushes across in front of you, it is a pee in your pants moment.
Oh my goodness.
So can you stop and buy the oranges from the guy, or do you just got to go around him and keep going?
Oh, they bring everything to the paddock. Anything you want, jewelry or tacos in the paddock.
All right, guys.
This sounds like a dream come true.
Set Chrissy up with 2 El Pastor, because that's the way she likes them.
Taco El Pastor.
Well, hey, guys, we've talked about this. Next year, there's a strong possibility that I'm living a whole lot closer to Cathy than I am to you guys, and that's within a day's drive. So the Three-Pedal Mafia might have to join Lucky Dog.
Gosh darn.
Well, you'd have to have a car,
It's actually an easy thing to do, you guys. A lot of people are a little freaked out about building walls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We have somebody, this is a group that's done this for 25 years. We meet them on this side of the border. We cross as a group. We go to Puerto Nuevo and we eat piles of grilled lobster that was just caught.
Nice.
Drive into Ensenada. It's about an hour over the border. We're all together at a really cool hotel. I mean, it's really a fun, safe experience. So that's kind of a highlight. I think another one, when we do Laguna Seca twice a year, which we are so spoiled. And I think that when we do our second race of the year, because we always do one in January, but the second one is we have a tequila sponsor. I don't know how many other series out there.
I'm there.
America. So Don Elias Tequila sponsors us, and we do big grilled taco thing on our second event, and we call it Dogtoberfest. And we have live music and everything. So that's probably a big highlight. But I have to tell you, even after all this time doing this, every time I get to a track, I'm all excited again. I am so blessed to be able to do what I do. It's really a cool experience. And people like you helping spread the word like this, you're a gift. Total gift.
Well, we're the gift that keeps on giving, because in 50 episodes, we don't plan on stopping.
No.
Somehow we've survived this long despite our own best efforts. So we're gonna.
I can't wait till we get 50 listeners.
Yeah, all of our families combined isn't that many. So.
Yeah.
And some of them listen or not, depending on the subject matter and or curse words that are featured.
All right. Don't worry. We'll send this out to our 8,000 driver mailing list, and we'll give away something good. I think we should give away a free entry to a Lucky Dog race. What do you think?
For what?
Okay.
Sure.
What?
Cathy,
I think that could be totally
you're like our new
awesome.
favorite person right now.
I
you
think
need
we
your
should
lawn
do that.
mode, because I'll do it right now.
All right, I will set this up, and we can put this in the meeting notes and have people enter, and they get a free entry, and that's worth like $1,700 because I'll throw in all of the other accoutrements like a transponder and RV parking, and so I think that would be fun.
God.
We'll do
This is
that.
amazing.
You are just the best.
You're my new favorite race organizer.
Seriously.
This is awesome.
Seriously. All right. Well, Cathy, I mean, this has been wonderful to have you on the show. I've really enjoyed talking to you and learning more about your series. I mean, I'd heard good things from other people, but hearing it from you makes it totally different. Well, it just makes it more, actually. It's all great. So this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And just let's mention again that we are the new media partner for Flocktoberfest, which is coming on October
6th.
Thank you for getting to the meeting notes before I can get to them. And we're going to have all the links to the Eventbrite and all the event information on our podcast notes. And hey, I think we're going to be in bed, so to speak, with a new West Coast partner. We're going to be sleeping with the chickens very soon.
Yes.
I will
For the dogs, though.
I will let Gavin and Kristen know we're sleeping with the chickens. But seriously, thank you again for what you guys do. It's part of our mission, too. And I appreciate being a guest on your show. And I wish you all the best.
Well, you're not going anywhere yet. We're just going to continue moving on with the session. I will try not to mention that Chris and Chrissy are cat people, but we definitely Bentel and I have more dogs than we can shake a stick at.
You want to talk about lucky dogs? It's a competition between the luckiest dogs. It's either Jeff's dogs or my dogs who has the luckiest dogs, and it varies from week to week. But
all right.
Now, Cathy, if I'm not mistaken, because I met the folks down at Quick Trick Alignment Tools at that week's trade show, and they've been friends of yours for going on a decade now, and they could not say enough nice things about you. And they I guess they earned the name Corn Dog and Horn Dog, and they said even after a decade they refused to tell you which one is which.
That is true.
So everyone gets a dog name. So I think Chris and Chrissy could be Cat Dog.
There you go.
Oh, we don't have a cat dog. Everybody at Lucky Dog has a dog name, and they also race with us too. Their son Gil, who was at Grid Life, raced with us, and they were our first.
Yes, Gil was there in that branded up Honda Accord that they had. They were right there by the entrance onto the track. And honestly, folks, they're not our sponsors, but if you're looking for in garage alignment tools, Quick Trick is the way to go. Made in America, made right there in Alabama, just down the road.
Sure.
And I met the owner, and he said they've sold to 16 countries, and he has touched every piece of equipment that has left his shop. So God bless him.
Cool.
Yeah, which is true. The very first prototype he brought to a chump car race in 2010 at Roebling Road down in Georgia. And they are amazing. In fact, they were the sponsors of the Laguna Seca race last month. I can't say enough good things about them, and they're huge supporters of this veterans car that we run.
Oh, like I needed another reason to buy a new set of alignment tools from them. So yeah, that's gonna happen.
Mental, who's going to teach you how to use them? That's what I want to know.
Oh.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, no. And here's the thing.
Well done, sir. Well done.
And you all know the answer. It'll be Chris at the next race when I'm sitting there trying to attach it to my windshield and Abbott lets me go for about 10 minutes before he walks over and shows me how to.
How
As
do
long
it
as you
work?
learn. Hey.
So is it time for our favorite topic of the show?
Is it the favorite? I don't know. I think it's hella sweet or but terrible.
It's hella sweet but terrible time?
We're not sure what it's going to be.
Kathy, we want your opinion on this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is definitely you're in on
All
this.
right, so it's hella sweet but terrible. Jeff, it's your topic this week, right?
Yeah, it's my topic. Right. Here it is. So we already heard earlier that I am searching for a new tow pig. I live in New Jersey. Matt Farinchak suggested that and sent me some links to some just ginormous 2,500 and 3,500 pickups. Chris sent me a picture of was that thing a dually? I'm not sure.
No, it was not a dually, but it was an F350 V10 long bed crew cab.
Oh my gosh!
Already
had a fifth wheel in it.
But the trans had been built for 1,000 horsepower. And
the vapors,
blah blah blah.
The vapors.
Mental's getting the vapors. So I mentioned that Cathy, just so you're aware, because you're probably not a regular listener, but you will be after tonight, I have a 2,500 Avalanche. It's a 2002. It has an 8.1 liter V8. It is ginormous. It is rusty. It is falling apart. And I'm looking for something new. And all these jerk-offs keep sending me trucks that are bigger.
Yeah, because you don't use it for anything. You don't use it for anything except towing. So why not? Like,
Well,
you
this
don't
is the
daily
question.
drive it. You
This is
don't
the
do
question.
anything with it.
I don't drive it ever. Should I go bigger, like this 350 or the other? So I would love a diesel excursion. Or should I go smaller? If I get something like the Nissan, I'll actually, or a Tundra, they would both tow enough, and I would actually probably drive it more often. And I definitely would go four-wheel drive because I have snow up here. There's the hella sweet or but terrible. You have two choices. Well, bigger. Should Jeff go bigger? Is this a hella sweet or but terrible idea?
And
Let's go around
before we do, I lived in Colorado with a two-wheel drive F-150 for 3 years, never had a problem. And I'm a redneck.
And I drove a Camaro every day in the snow with bald tires in upstate New York and walked to school both ways uphill and
Uphill both ways.
Back in my day, we didn't have heat. You had heat in your car? No. Should Jeff get a ginormous tow vehicle and stop looking at this little crap? Hella sweet but terrible. Let's start it with Chrissy.
Is it so? It's the one in the link that's in the notes that you just
No,
put there.
no. Mental just put that there because it's $1,000 Suburban.
Hey, Mental,
Yeah, it's
on Atlantic Craigslist, search RV towing for an
I'm sorry.
F-350, and you'll
So
find
this
the
was
one
just
that
a-
I sent.
The
Excellent.
generic one that you were saying, go big or go home, is what I'm supposed to be voting
Go
on?
big or go home. Is that a hella sweet or but terrible idea?
I mean, it's hard because you don't need it much, and you don't have enough room. Like, even if you start putting stuff in the front yard, or the backyard, and the side yard, you just don't have I mean, it's already in the front yard. You don't have the side yard or the backyard. But it seems like I think you need something normal. That's what I'm going to go with. But I'm sure Chris will tell me I'm wrong. Go, Chris. What do you think?
You're so right, honey. Because even when Jeff had the Avalanche, when he just bought it, and it was not jankified by being owned by Jeff, right?
Are you suggesting that it is my fault that it is rusting away to nothing?
Yes.
I'm suggesting that
Yes.
every car you have becomes janky during your ownership.
No,
Every single one.
No argument whatsoever. Keep going.
When the Avalanche was not janky, you still didn't drive it. Even
Wait,
when
wakeified. I
everything
think that's a
worked.
new phrase, is
Everything
wakeified.
worked
Jankified.
totally fine. You didn't drive it. And it's not. And your Avalanche is no more tragic to drive than my Suburban, which is. So I think if you're going to only use it as a beast of burden, as a tool, get the best, biggest tool, because you're a big tool kind of guy.
Knee pads.
Right. So big tool kind of guy. Get us something that's when you use it for its intended purpose, you're going to go, F yeah, America, and it's going to work
Well,
great.
I mean, like you did in the rental dually. I'm sorry.
The rental
Yeah,
dually.
Rental dually.
And if you're
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
if you're open
Mental,
to
go ahead.
well, hang
go
on,
ahead.
Jeff. If you're open to SUVs instead of trucks, you can get stupid deals on V10 excursions because no one wants it. Everyone wants the diesel ones. And
Where did you get
everyone
that?
wants
Click on the link in the show notes. He's absolutely
or everyone
right.
wants an F350. So either if you're open to an SUV, like you can get a V10 excursion for like $5 or $6 grand. Like nobody
Click
wants
on the
those
link
things.
I just put in the show notes
Oh,
because
come on.
no, seriously, Chris is
See
not
that,
kidding.
or you get that ridiculous F350 that I sent you that for $10 grand is already completely built, and you will never need another truck in your whole life. And it's it's two-wheel drive, but who cares? You're never going to go
That's
anywhere.
not how Jeff rolls. Jeff rolls with a car that every 2 years, and then he gets frustrated
And
on them.
if he doesn't want to go bigger,
they rust away, and then
if he doesn't want to go bigger, then go for
let's
the
break the cycle.
Nissan. Go for the Nissan Titan because it's daily driver ish, and it's dirt cheap for what they are, and they don't seem to rust either. So those are my excursions or Nissan Titans.
you can.
No,
you
this
can
is hella sweet or but terrible. You have to pick one or the other.
Big
Big.
tool guy. Big tool.
Big cool guy.
Mental, what's your advice? And then, Cathy, we're coming to you, so prep up.
All right, I just looked at this link that Chris just said about the Super Duty V10. I'm going to echo everything Chris said, and I'm going to add 2 additional points. One, anything big like that, your dogs will love, and you can play the tough. You can play the tough guy, grease monkey, all you want. All right, Jeff, you and I have
his
bonded
dogs
over.
will sit anywhere.
But Jeff, you and I bonded over dogs, and you know that we love to spoil our dogs. So you get an excursion or you get this F-350, and I'll add that if you get this F-350, I'll roll the VFR in the back of it, and I will bring it to you and ride my VFR home.
See, doesn't that F-350 look good, man?
It really does. And this is the other aspect of it. So your poor wife now has to commute to College Station or
No, she only goes to Reading.
She commutes right by our house.
But she's having to drive, and on a couple of days, it's going to be crappy weather, and it's going to be some aggressive people on 422sucks.com, and having the lovely and talented Jennifer looking at that F-350, that is a big, giant middle finger. You don't mess with a Wakeman, period, dot. No one's going to mess with her.
She is not driving any of these vehicles. She won't even get close to them.
Mental, she has a Subaru. She's going to take that. Don't you even say it. It'll cost as much to go to work as she gets paid if she takes that.
She wants to just take a vacation day.
Right.
Vicky was a diehard Saturn girl until I introduced her to a Land Rover. And now the Suburban is kind of on the small side for her because we're looking to upgrade, and she won't go any smaller than the Suburban. I'm just saying. Jeff, I'm with Chris. Quit screwing around. Go big.
If I didn't have to, if I didn't think I was driving my Suburban more often than I would, like that winter I daily drove it and I hated life, then I would have gotten something bigger too.
Oh my gosh, Cathy, please save me.
No.
What's your opinion?
Okay, first of all, in California, we don't rust. So I'm trying to figure that shit out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, my first question for you was, do you have a wife? And now I found out you do have a wife. So let me tell you.
Lovely and talented young lady.
Let me tell you the scoop, because while we own a Lucky Dog series, we are huge cat people, and we live on Kitty Lane.
Nice. There you go. High five there.
On Kitty Lane, our cars are a Chevy Duramax 2500, because I'm a bow tie girl, and that thing has been a workhorse for pulling trailers thousands of miles. And then when I need a daily driver, I've got a Miata. So why can't you have both?
I do have both.
He has all of them, and then some.
Yeah.
And then some. Okay, I didn't tell you we have 4 other cars, but
so
does he.
My daily is a Mazda 3 long roof, 6-speed. Love the Mazdas.
Oh, it is so much fun to drive. But when I need to be in inclement weather in California, that means it rained or sprinkled. Having to learn that. I'm all about big tools. Ask my husband.
Oh! All right, I guess I'm shopping up. Who knows?
Jeff, that F-350, that's the one, man.
That F-350 was pretty sweet. I'm going to be honest with you.
Now, Chris, click on that link that I just posted in the show notes to all the excursions that are sub $10,000.
Oh, yeah. It's there's lots of them. So if you don't need a bed, there's so many choices and things.
Here's a 7.3 diesel for $8,500.
Oh, that's an International Harvester. My heart goes pitter-patter for them.
That's all I'm saying, Jeff.
But all the diesel ones have like 400,000 miles on them at this point.
I know.
So, yeah, but they're diesel, so it's fine.
Still, for the amount that Jeff uses it, he doesn't need the diesel. The V10, the V10, same V10 in the RV. You just get a later one. Apparently, the later you get it, the better, because they don't spit spark plugs out and stuff.
The less chance it has spitting a spark plug out.
Right. So
I can tell a coil. I'm not worried about a spark plug shooting.
You get an 04 kind of thing, and they're cheap and they work. Or you just get that F-350 that I posted. Here's how I know it's good. It's got Michelin Defender LTX tires on it. No one that doesn't care about their car spends the money for those.
That's a strikingly compelling and well thought out argument.
It is.
Right. People who don't care about their cars do not buy Michelins ever. As a guy who's got his 3rd set of Michelins on his Suburban, I got to agree with you on that one.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Jeff, what do you think?
I don't know. I guess I'm going to keep shopping.
Did Chrissy weigh in?
Yeah.
Chrissy weighed in.
She was the first one.
Do you not listen?
No, of course not.
I'm so paranoid that we ignore you. I wanted to make sure.
You ignored me by not listening to what I said.
I'm the only one who ignored.
So what's going on in our next show, Jeff?
So next show, the Bradley Brownell, I most mispronounced his name, GRM message board OG, weekend contributor at Jalopnik, co-founder of Radwood. That's the important clip right there. Managing editor at Flat Sixes, and as well as a hoarder of cars, driver of Boxsters. He's rebuilding his 912. He's done a lot of stuff. Former host of Cam and Tub, DFL. He's going to be on to talk about Radwood Philly. I am so excited by this. Radwood is coming to our town. I was literally talking to my college students today and said, if I was driving a 1990 Miata in 1990, what would I be driving and where can I get my outfit? Because I am prepping for Radwood Philly already.
And Brad was down here for Grid Life, and he's one of the jokes he made was everyone says, oh, you should do a Radwood East Coast event. And then it goes, oh, but I meant do it in my town. So he's actually looking forward to getting up to Philly. And you guys will get a chance to meet him in person. He is such a great human being.
Well, I've got a question for him. I'm worried about this. The NSX is technically not a 90s car that we have, but it's totally a 90s car.
He'll totally let you bring it.
It's actually like continuation cars that didn't drastically change since 1990.
Plus, you guys could totally dress 90s. He'll love that stuff.
Hey, we do have a yellow Walkman Sport downstairs with a
nice.
Yes.
Oh, I have a box of clothes that I used to wear. Like,
and a Game Boy.
I can make this happen. And a Game Boy, yeah.
And if you guys saw the pictures we posted up on the Facebook page, like somebody had like Nintendo NES in the back of their 300Z.
The 300ZX, I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
there was such great stuff at Radwood. And Matt Farah had a sneaker lacing contest at the Radwood.
I would so win that.
Yeah, and here's the thing, because Matt Farah was actually, he used to work at the Foot Locker, and he was a nationally ranked shoelacer.
Hey, you know what?
They had contests.
Don't burn pod.
We're burning pod for next week.
Yeah.
Right.
But Matt got his head handed to him by a couple of contestants at Radwood, so he's down.
I'm now Googling for checkered laces. Mental, do you want to read the show exit? Because I can't play the music.
Yes.
And we have to thank a guest because Cathy
please,
is
Cathy,
amazing.
Cathy, you are the bomb. There's just no other word for it.
We're pretty excited. We are definitely going to be talking about you and to you in the future. Thank you for joining us. That's what I was trying to do.
Okay, here we go.
Absolutely.
Cathy, you still with us?
I am, and it's a date.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Cathy,
we haven't chased her away yet. Congratulations. Well done, guys. Well done.
We even talked about big tools.
It was totally, Cathy, it was totally worth it. You are an absolute doll, and you are doing God's work. So bless you on that. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and we'll
have fun this weekend.
Yes,
Thank
Cathy. Have fun and be safe. Folks, thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We sure did. We hope you'll enjoy us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe. Button on iTunes. We're on Google Play, but we're not really on Google Play. Wherever you get your podcasts, worst case, go to shoutengine.com, download us. If you have any questions, want to give us some show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or like our race team Facebook page, Three Pedal Mafia Lemons Race Team. If you'd rather not venture into the void that is the Book of Faces so they can steal even more of your information, email us at everyone.racers@gmail, or find us on Instagram and Twitter at everyone.racers. Thanks again. Until next week, keep the shiny side up, unless it's like Jeff's toe pig, in which no part is shiny. Then just keep the wheels down.